I have returned. I was chatting with Lady Sheila for a bit. Thank you so much for all of your patience. I don't say that enough. I know I have, quite lengthy tea breaks because it takes time to make a proper cup of tea. All right. I was almost out there so long that I finished my first cup of tea and started a second, but I did not. Instead, I topped up my first cup of tea and I'm back with a Lucozade as well. But Lady Sheila is making me second tea to make sure that I've got enough. Yep. MVT. Being true to her title. Okay. Do I intend to fill other rooms with that more or keep them vacuum? Honestly, I don't know what I intend to do with this starter base. We'll see where it goes. But right now, what was it that they would buy? It was gases, wasn't it? Water, that's right. They will purchase water. I could make a water connector. Yeah, I could. Just move the massive water tank across. I'd probably want to go and get some more water ice. But we can do that. We can absolutely do that.
Pressure critical.
It's fine.
Oxygen critical.
I'm fine. Okay, maybe I'll increase the internals on this a bit more. Let's take it up to 65. Like, this suit is so much more responsive than the others. Like, so much more responsive. It's kind of crazy. I'll quickly have it on. Thinking about it while I'm here. May as well top off. Of course, it's, just gone nighttime, so... annoyingly, we're going to miss a window for mining, but CO2 in here is fine. Let's head out. This game seems extremely complicated, more so than Subnautica. Oh yeah, no, this is an entire different level compared to Subnautica. They're barely comparable. Right. You know what? I honestly just kind of feel like I'm just going to leave those there. No, I shouldn't, but... Right. For sale, you would like lots of water. A lot of water. And a decent chunk of CO2. How much does one smart canister hold? Oh, it's hard to tell. Okay, I'm gonna go and make another smart tank. And we'll see how many trips of CO2 I can do. Might as well. What has a high learning curve? This or oxygen not included? Okay, so it's a bit of a complicated question to answer that one. Because I would say that they have similar learning curves, but not for the same reasons. This one is, in my opinion, a far more complex game. But I would say that oxygen not included has a slightly more oh, excuse me. Never think too hard and drink tea at the same time. Oh, it's okay though. It's okay. I almost spilled the tea, but luckily my lungs caught it. A significantly better outcome than the alternative. So, what I was going to say was... wow, my eyes are watering. Oxygen are included, and this. Their learning curves are similar. However, there is a... I would say that oxygen not included suffers a little bit. Oh, God. That had not outputted fully. Really? Huh. Oh. Right. Yeah, of course. I needed to wait for all of that to get sucked in first. Well, that's annoying. I forgot about that. But yeah, oxygen not included has this kind of situation going where it doesn't benefit from the fact that real world physics, like knowledge of the real world, is something that you can apply to this game. You can a little bit to oxygen not included, but for example, like in oxygen not included, you have to struggle with the fact that, oh yeah, no, two gases can't occupy the same space at the same time. So they just kind of fight. Yeah. Well, the same for liquids, really. Yeah. In this game, they'll just happily mix. Now, that might sound like a negative, but actually it's kind of a positive. There's a lot of things that real-world physics apply much more directly to this, so any knowledge of real-world physics softens the learning curve, whereas you don't get that for oxygen not included. But understand that both games, you can 100%, break physics. It's just it's a little bit less... Oh, no. Can I not just sell the car? Ah. I can't just sell it. Okay, that sucks. I do, in fact, need to empty this out fully. Yeah, because that pipe never fully emptied. I'm so sorry. I'm going to be coughing for a little bit, I think. I'm going to say that when that happens, I need a second valve that I can simply empty out whatever's left into the world. Not the ideal situation, but it will at least resolve this problem slightly. And I'm going to have to refilter all that CO2, annoyingly. This is a very cheap and nasty resolution, though. Here, She-Lab. Thank you so much. Oh, no. I can't do it. Ah! I don't have jetpack. Well, that's kind of annoying. I must nerd pull through broken physics. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Let me. Come on, please. No, okay, fine. Well, the lack of the jetpack is definitely going to be felt. But yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to the whatever they're going to add with terraforming. That seems really interesting. Look how much time I've been in this suit so far and not needed to my waste tank has barely got anything in it. I'm gonna go empty this. Not possible to run in this. Ugh. Bunny hop though. Maybe I should have a volume pump there as well. Probably should. Let's go and grab one. Sheila brought me a very strong drink. And I loved it. However, I can really... It is very strong. It has a very potent aroma. No. It's glorious. It's just, it's very strong smelling. I need it after I tried to drown myself in tea. So good. Thank you, Sheila. I definitely don't want to throw away all of that CO2 though. Whatever's in this pipe shouldn't be enough to overpressurize the waste tank. I hope. We will, of course, see. All right, we need to go and grab what's left in there. As much of it as I can, anyway. And this is the problem, is that I can't pump into this tank. It is an issue. How many moles? 5 moles. I think I can live without it. I'll just let that vent. There we go. It's all vented. Or is in the process of venting. I should have done something like that a little while ago, though. That was silly of me not to. I just do pressure regulators as if they were pumps. Well, yeah, but they're so slow about it, is the issue. So when you actually need like a back pressure regulator, it's probably better as a pump. I mean, here I'm just being lazy. But a back pressure regulator is usually there because you need it to critically prevent whatever's behind it from overpressurizing. So at that time, you kind of want a nice fast pump. Draconin, thank you so much. This is my starter base. This is what we're going to be using to kind of kickstart everything else. Though, you know, as the saying goes, there's nothing nothing as permanent as a temporary solution, but we are working towards it. I was meant to be starting on the power plant here, but yeah, got a little bit distracted by making a harms suit because of the solar storms. Down here, I've got my centrifuge. I've made a rule that the only automation in this base has to be chips, because I quite enjoy IC10, but I know that if I start IC10 programming, this temporary base becomes my permanent base. It's pretty simple. It is that easy. What temperature is it? Oh, that's hot. Why is it so spicy, chat? Nitrogen's doing okay. How's the coolant system? 28 degrees. Oh no, that's my base water. What's the coolant temp? It's 37. Okay, fair enough. I mean, you know, this is doing what it's meant to do. That heat from all of those systems is causing the pressure, the temperature to rise in the water, and I generally only allow enough steam in there to keep it as liquid water up to about 20 degrees, which is the sweet spot of where I want the temperature to be. So any excess steam beyond that pressure gets pulled up into this pipe, which then starts to process into the condensation chamber and move through. Not ideal, though. The official Too Much Mark Watney achievement has 0.0%, even though it's just an explosion in hydroponics. I'm not going to blow up my hydroponics just to get an achievement. I refuse. Though I am kind of thinking about it now. Well, let's have a quick look in here. Gonna have to start pulling some of that gas in there soon, which is a bit of a problem, actually. I should probably tear this down, but I'm kind of leaving it there just in case someone else pops in and wants to ask how to wire up an airlock. Because it was a pretty simple little demonstration to do. You know, largely helped by the fact that it is super easy to do airlocks on the moon. Need better lighting. Let's not be so messy. All of these shelves for a reason. But I will say I was very happy with the result of that smelt. That was a good smelt. I'm not going to have enough room. Okay. Drastic measures, chat. Okay, I haven't done this in a bajillion years, so it's time to do it. Who are we going to use as the great unifier of ingots? You can pick, chat. Which of our workshops or workbenches, I guess, is going to be the unifier. Hydroponics is not a room type. I don't know what the criteria are, though. That's true. I could reload after the explosion, but no. Also, vending machine is not on the list of things. One of these. You may pick only one. Or I will pick. That is also okay. Why not make a second hydroponic area and then blow that up? I'm not an achievement chaser, generally speaking. Pressure regulators are great when the input side is much higher pressure than the output side. As soon as the output side has higher or even similar pressure, it is so slow. Yeah, I think that's probably the big issue. You know what? Okay, chat loses choosing privileges. Whoop. Whoop. All shall be unified by grace of pipe bender. The great together bringer. Oh, come on. Ah. Man. On a single one. I suck. Or at least they're closer together. Okay. That was just me being silly. How much of a mess can I make of that one spot, I wonder? While still actually trying to get it into the chute. Seems at this point, at this distance, just a full strength throw will get it there. If I'm aiming just above it. Now, there is such a thing as a what is the device called? If you put something into it, it'll empty out the contents of that thing and then pass everything through. So you could effectively fill a backpack with ingots, or indeed ores, put the backpack into the device, and it would effectively just feed everything down the chute. The unloader. There we go. Hey, a Black Shadow. How you doing? Welcome on in. I got tired of having an enormous, unruly collection of ingots. Therefore, we are invoking the togethering. End of aloning. termination of individuality. All will be one. This ritual will not be performed very often. Only in extreme circumstances. One day, when we have silos full of 500 stacks of every ingot, this ritual will be completely obsolete, and perhaps our traditions will die with us. But here we go. The great gathering shall commence. Also, I made a harm suit for the first time. Quite like it. Slow to move around in, but the use of my waste tank is just... it's something else completely. It's amazing. I'm so incredibly slowly going through the waste tank. There you go. It is a large tank, to be fair, but I mean, I don't think the harm suit is any different from any of the other suits. Even if you've got a smart tank, it'll still be like, you're at like 4 megapascals. It's going to explode. You're going to die, etc., etc., etc. Sadly, I don't think there's any fixing that part. Game just doesn't understand that big capacity waste tank can afford to fit large amounts of waste. But it's got a 14.5 liter water bottle in there. About, I think it was like 23, 22 degrees. And so it's using that to keep me cool. So I am not flushing my oxygen into the waste tank at all. Pretty much the waste tank is filling with CO2. And it's pretty much just that. Because normally what happens is, for those who are like the 4 megapascals of waste, it's your oxygen tank gets used to keep you cool. As your suit heats up or gets too cold, your oxygen tank, it'll cycle fresh air from your oxygen tank and dump whatever was in it into the waste tank. So you're constantly moving the too hot or too cold air out of your suit and replacing it with fresh air. So as a consequence, your waste tank fills up with oxygen, as well as the CO2 that's being filtered. But because the harm suit uses liquid cooling, there are like 2 states of it, I believe. Let me bring it up. So, the harm suit. It is liquid cooled for superb thermal performance and boasts superior resistance to impact and lava exposure. While the harm suit is not compatible with jetpack basic, stationeers are still able to equip hard suit backpack or hard mining backpack. Due to its extra stability and size, the storms do not affect movement speed while in a harm suit. However, this results in an overall reduction of movement in general. But here we are. So, I'm moving almost half as fast as normal. As long as my coolant is between -233 and 50 degrees, it's fine. I wonder if it has to be liquid cooled. It doesn't say so, but I wonder if it has to be liquid. Or if it could be like just a tank of nitrogen. An extremely cold tank of nitrogen. But ideal operating temperature is -150 to 500. Max operating temperature is -200 to 1000 degrees. Basically, as long as I'm within the range of -150 to 500 degrees, it doesn't use any air as an active coolant. It is purely using the liquid as a passive cooler. And so it's not shifting anything around. If I'm outside 150 to 500, negative 150 to 500, but still within the max operation, it will now start using my air tank to actively cool the coolant as well. So at that point, it becomes just like a regular suit, but still, you can move around in 1,000 degree heat without any real impediment. The movement penalty is ouch, but it is also significantly more impact resistant as well. So I think only Vulcan is the only natural world. Well, I mean, there's also Venus. Venus is much more extreme. But yeah, so while I am moving slower, honestly, I don't really find it that unpleasant. However, the big thing is that I'd be able to be out here in a solar storm without any real issue. And that would be nice. You know what? I'm kind of thinking having this just over here instead. Having all my information on one side. Does the Vulcan get to 700C? I thought Venus got really hot. But Vulcan would still be within the normal operating temp. The safe operating temperature. Unless you've dropped in lava. But the thing with this is it could basically withstand the lava. It'll start taking damage, but until it is completely destroyed, nothing you've got in it would break. Which is kind of amazing. Right, what did we want to do? We wanted... Well, now I've sorted all of that out. It's quite nice. I need to go and charge the suit. I have a... nom. Vulcan can get to 1452. Oh, is it during summer storms? I know Vulcan's seasons are quite aggressive. Is it during the summer storms that it gets that bad? I say again, this is the most angry gnome space trooper outfit. When it's folded its legs in and it's so glorious. It is an angry gnome. I might have to get wasted the suit if it has reduced impact out. Maybe. Yeah, it does. It does. It's significantly more impact resistant. Oh my lord, I'm moving so fast. I never knew I was this quick before. But now I've got a basis of comparison. Alright. Eat more of my bread. Alright, now there is a problem in that I don't necessarily want to open up that system right now, but I wish I could see how hot this was. Oh, I could put a... could I put a meter? There is a liquid pipe meter. I could have it there, and it would... Well, actually, no, it wouldn't work there. Really would very much like to know how hot or cold my water was, but I guess I'll just have to do it the aggressive way. $29 degrees. Ouch. $140 liters of almost 30-degree water is going to take a lot of cooling. That's the problem with dumping all the heat from the furnace into it. This room should be okay. It's maintaining around 25 degrees, which is what it should be doing. I'm actually going to... No. I'm going to drop it down to 20 degrees, though. As that will also help cool the water. Slowly, but it'll help. How much more bread do we have? We'll declare completely in 9 hours. We've got loads of time on that. All right, so I think we're going to start focusing on the power plant. The other thing I could do is I could go out and mine a bunch of extra ices. In fact, you know what? That's a bloody good idea.
Pressure critical. Oxygen critical.
I'm fine. Stop lying. Could also put the very cold furnace waste in there now. Can't believe it got so hot though. Right. So the nitrogen will no, the nitrogen, the volatiles will be okay. But that depends very largely on whether this system is currently still moving oxides. It is not. Then in that case, we can in fact do that. Get a bit of chill into the system. These are all off-gas doors. There we go. But with that done, we are going to go out. Game? I don't think you understand how that works. This goes there. What happened just then is I pressed 4 and I even checked to make sure I was holding down 4. I was. And my mining backpack got placed on my glasses. I was wearing my mining backpack on my face. As one does, apparently. That is one good neck. Oh, I try my best. Work out. Up close backpack inspection. Sure. Yeah. Almost done, and I can put another 50 in. I'll wait for this before... Well... No, we go out now. I need to go and get some water. So slow. Very good. Thank you. Yeah, I think what I will do is I will prep 2 suits. And in the future, I will bring out my regular suit when I don't need it. Though, but the thing is, I actually do kind of like... I'm not playing on the Stationeer difficulty this time because I've already done a Stationeer difficulty thing. And it just feels like busy work. But now that this suit exists, there is a big part of me that is reassessing my initial frustrations with like, you know, even an end game, you barely have any time before you need to go, I need a drink again because I drink so much. It wasn't even the respiration that was a problem. It was the drinking, constantly needing to stop whatever I was doing and go home to get more drink. Oh, there is a rover. Actually, that's a good point. I should build a rover. Well done, chat. That's a good idea. How much does it cost to make the rover? Huh. Well, I'm out here now. But next stop rover. That was not on my list of things I was going to be doing today. But okay. Now that I have this awesome new suit that I really, really like for lots of reasons, and I don't want to have to not use because of one reason, the rover is significantly more important for me to get up and running in a near time frame. We'll try that. I added a mod for starting normal, but included requiring to open the helmet for food and water. Yeah, that... well, hang on a second. Normal has that, doesn't it? You can't... I think it's on... Like, I'm on what I still need to open my... Or at least if I didn't need to, I always have. Open my helmet for eating and drinking. You can't eat or drink through the helmet on normal. I think Stationeers is just that consumption is really, really high. I think there's a level below normal though, where you do need to, where you can just eat and drink through the helmet. Okay, Time at TV. There may be something that is of particular interest to you, given what you just said about wishing that the Terraformers mod was up to date. Let me cast your eyes towards this. I believe this was mentioned. Where is it? Oh, it's not showing up now. Look at an alloy. Ah, right, okay. There we go. Terraforming manufactory. Thank you very much, Shadow. Yeah. And some things that Rocket has said in a few chit-chats on Discord and in general, just like talking with the community, have effectively hinted very strongly that this is something they are actively working on right now, along with the space stations. I do not know how it will work in its entirety, only that it exists. And I don't imagine we're going to get really deep information until they're more certain on what they're doing with it. But the existence alone is exciting to me. Because it doesn't seem to be a case of something that was in the game but got taken out. This is something new. Yeah, I'm so excited for the future of Stationeers. It's such an engaging game. Let's go grab that. Much water. We are going to fill our water tank with water. I would love more crazy things possible with plant genetics in tandem with terraforming. You look like probably silicon. You might be water ice. You're probably silicon. I'm starting to think you're silicon too, but we'll see. Yeah, it is silicon. To spot water ice, what you really need to look for is the high reflection, and that is now gone. Okay, heading home then. Look at base glaring at us out of the darkness. Like a predator. Base's eyes are forward facing, by the way, chat. You know what that means. Some bases have side eyes, but not our base. Our base needs that binocular vision. It's just waiting for me to make a mistake big enough that it can tromp me. And I respect it for that. Yeah, you used to be able to build a rocket and travel between planets, but no more. But they are actively working on space stations in orbit, so like a point a certain distance above the map where it transitions from atmosphere, well, not in the case of the moon obviously, but atmosphere to vacuum. So, you know, we're getting closer and closer. Shadow says, Stationeers is such an interesting game. I never thought I'd like it until I was pulled into it in a playthrough with a group. Was that the I'm aware of one of the series that you were in, Stationeers, with Splitsy and Aavak and how many people were in there? Was it 4 or 5 people? Nev TFE, right? Was that the Terraforming Mars one? Oh, I have no jetpack. It's fine. I also have shock absorber boots. But maybe I should not be bouncing along the ground. There are modes of transport that I am now going to have to get out of the habit of using. Because just bunny hopping across the lunar surface is now significantly more risky. I am heavy and I cannot fly. Come back. Okay, harm suit backpack does have a couple of weird behaviors. It isn't as good as the regular mining backpack at recognizing that an ore has been mined that it can't use and then letting it go into the belt. Noted. I have no jetpack, yet I must eat. Yes, indeed. True words have not been stated before. Not even once. Oh, we may have been venting. Okay. Noted. Noted. Good deal. Let's pop this into my Centrifuge to degas. What probably happened before and why I didn't notice that the reason why it suddenly popped twice is likely I was dropping things in there much less frequently. And as a consequence, it had plenty of time to adjust. But now, like, constantly keeping this running, degassing my ores, likely put a bit too much strain on the system. Oh, that is so much faster now. I'm barely heating it up. There we go. Dunk. All right. I wonder if that is currently set to keep a certain pressure down. Well, I probably should check that, actually. If that can fill that pipe as aggressively as I wanted to. Right, there we go. So the water temperature is now way lower, and that should be affecting everything else. Because this water temperature will be synchronizing with the coolant temperature. So the coolant temperature is being pulled down, and pretty much... Okay, it's still 39. But things are cooling. Little by little, but it's happening. An active vent is limited to 50.7 MPa by default. Oh, that's perfectly fine then. It's more than enough. I'm so sorry, trader. You're going to be prisoner for a little while longer, but don't worry. We will let you go home to your wife and younglings eventually. Okay, I actually think it is time for us to steel frames. Oh, I need to switch that. All right, steel frames. Did I leave the steel inside? I did leave the steel inside the habitat. That's fine. That is fine. Turn you on. Turn you on. I just need to go and get the steel. All right. So, my plan, such that it is to get... go out a little ways and start setting up what will eventually be a field of solar. Yes, let's get that happening. Steel frames, go ahead. Oh, that's right, I need to make a rover too. Electronics printer. Steel, electrum, constantan, and copper. Why is that set to 141 of all numbers? At least the trader isn't a mending villager. A mending villager? I never knew the centrifuge degassed. That's very good to know. Might have to keep that in mind for future project. Yeah. Usually I use a gas centrifuge, but because I would much rather not have to stop and start a gas centrifuge manually, I've written a script that'll automatically start it up, stop it, empty it, start it back up again, and so on and so forth. So I'm just going to wait on that. I set up a regular centrifuge for it. The gas centrifuge has the advantage that it will off gas into its output pipe, whereas the regular one will off gas into its environment. So I built a little box around it. Yeah, furnace to degas ores is absolutely viable as well. I just prefer to, like, because my current furnace setup is in the other building from my atmospherics, I have to move waste gas back and forth. So a centrifuge is just good enough anyway, since I was going to build one so I could recycle the bajillion filters that I had to get rid of by the time that I was ready for that. Right. Oh, congratulations on getting the logic working, mate. Aavak, Minecraft reference. Mojang's mending's a good enchantment, so villagers selling it get trapped forever. Ah, I see. All right, wrench and 5 plastic sheets. I will need steel sheets as well, which I don't have. Steel sheets next. How are you doing, Revelation? Need the steel. Do we have a spare? Yeah, we do have a spare large battery. You know what? I would like another one then. I would love a nuclear, but we'll take a large. Also, Revelation, what prompted the name change? If you don't mind saying, that is. I recommend not removing the 2 cargo cranes once you get them attached to the right spot on the rover. It's kind of painful. Noted. Oh, God. No props. I've been meaning to ask for a little while. I didn't think it was very likely that you simply changed the name because of a loss of blah, blah, blah. What's the word I'm looking for? Streak, but at the same time, I couldn't entirely rule that out. Let's get these on go. The streak's still alive. I just haven't seen you use it in a while. Kind of assumed that it might have gotten lost during like during holiday times. And so shamed we that couldn't show your face ever again. So you got a mask and a hood. Oh, well done, coach. That would make sense. All right. Now, I will probably have one side for moving tanks. Like, that makes a lot of sense to me. But the other can absolutely be for crates. Did I comment on you hitting 170 last stream? I apologize. Completely slipped my mind. Oh God. Oh God. Please, please no. Haha! Take that, you scoundrel! Where's the battery port? Oh, 3. Right here. There will come a day you'll have a shorter stream, and I will be sad because that is when my streak will end. Well, I'm very, very glad your streak is still alive, because as much as I joke about it, I was actually a little bit worried that I had lost your streak. And it would have been just because, I don't know, I just randomly streamed in the middle of the night or something. And I would have felt quite sad at your loss. Apparently you can watch a certain portion of a VOD to keep your streak alive. What? With the 24-hour streak save nowadays, it'll be impossible to lose it. Really? I didn't know you could do that. That is cool. I'm very glad to hear that, actually. Like, genuinely glad to hear that, because, again, I don't have a schedule, and that does put my views at a distinct disadvantage when it comes to maintaining streaks. Two of these would be good enough. I have even lost my streak, and I live in the same house. Luckily, I'm not too bothered about that kind of stuff. Luckily. Do you believe it, champ? Because that sounds very much like something someone who is ultra bothered by that kind of stuff would say. Sheilab is so bothered. Also, Sheilab, pick a color. I have a sneaking suspicion I know what the color picked will be. Purple. Wow. Could never have seen this coming. Completely blindsided. Never in all my years did I suspect that this would happen. Yeah, that is super good to know, actually. Yeah, no, I very much will be spreading that. That is amazing news. I had no idea you could save your streak. Can you paint the You know, this is an important thing to find out.
Power low.
Trader man, I would like to paint you. No. For a second there, I thought this was the greatest thing to have ever been discovered in this game. But alas, hopes and dreams dashed. Had to try here. I'm so tempted to choose another colour to shock everyone, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. I love that about you. You know what you like, and you stand by it. Oh, wait, what? You can have an extra backpack with the new suit? No. That is my backpack. It's just you also see it in the suit, because if you take off the harm suit, the backpack goes with it straight away. It's attached to the suit. So, as a result, I carry around my backpack in my jumpsuit. My mining tool belt and my mining backpack live in my jumpsuit, and I switch them out when I need them. That would have been amazing, though. There was a moment where I thought that was also going to be the case. I was like, I'm completely okay with not having a jetpack if it means I can have 2 backpacks, but alas, not so. It wasn't meant to be. Yeah, I was kind of hopeful that the harm suit would have another backpack of its own, kind of like the hard suit, which has a nice big upgrade to its backpack compared to the regular one. I was a bit hopeful that would be the case with the harm suit, but sadly no. All right, chat. I need to find the edge of this crater so I can decide how we're going to build out our solar field. While I'm waiting for... Okay, that would be the lowest point there, more or less. I'd be okay with that. Okay. Right, so my solar panels are going to go something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Basically a T section in betwixt each one. This way it'll feel less like a very neat rows and rows of solar panels, and add a little bit of extra character to it, hopefully. But I will probably lower the terrain a bit, if I'm honest. Yeah. Having the terrain be about this low would be nice, I think. So. Flatten. Okay, apparently it's this low, in fact, that we're going to. News to me, but I'll accept it. I'm only going to be flattening the solar field. I am not going to do large amounts of landscaping beyond it, because I intend to do that in a different way. You know how we just built a rover? There's another device that I've scarcely ever had the opportunity or need to use, but I've always wondered how fun it would be to use it. There used to be all kinds of different mining devices, but increasingly they've either been made redundant or just removed. However, there is one that I think would be perfect for what I'm thinking of doing. And it is known as the Ogre. In the way that Amy is an autonomous mining droid, go out, gather things, return to base, drop them off. The Ogre is an autonomous mining, it's like kind of like a boring machine, like the one that dug the channel tunnel. It runs on tracks in a straight line and will clear out an area and return it. Anything it excavates, it'll return and drop off into a chute system, or we'll just wait for you to empty it manually. As far as I'm aware, it has no maximum range, but it won't cross ravines. Like, it won't create supports to lay its tracks. It'll lay tracks as long as there's ground there, but if there isn't, then it will stop. And with the terrain update, there is far less in the way of like cave systems. Maybe not on every planet. Certainly Vulcan would not be suitable for an ogre. But the moon is probably now significantly more accommodating for an ogre. Oh, it does have a max length, says Electrocutor. Autominer will go all the way to bedrock, though. Oh, the is that like the like a vertical shaft digger, the autominer? Yeah, the vertical version. That's quite cool. You know what? I should have gotten a terrain modifier and gotten some dirt canisters just in case. So I'm excavating quite a lot of dirt here that I might need to patch up some of my mining holes. Yeah, I very rarely had an opportunity to make use of the ogre myself, so I'd kind of like to showcase it a bit. So I think quite a few people would like the idea of the ogre for, you know, large base expansions, or even minor ones, but just in a very simple way. Like, yeah, I need a corridor that's this long. Boom, there you go. Ogre, do the work for me. I'm gonna go and have tea.